And joining us now on set, it's a big day, CBS News, Chief White House Correspondent Major Garrett.
It happens with some regularity.
Well, yeah. Look, we'll take what we can get.
As will I.
Great to see you right there. Yesterday, we watched Donald Trump continue now to rail against the Clintons in an attack with an acuteness that we have not seen even to this point in the campaign. But in doing so, we also saw now the attacks on the Speaker of the House, GOP leadership.
Right.
We've often talked about how Donald Trump has often seemed as though he was running against the Republican Party as much as on behalf of it. But how does he sustain, fewer than 30 days out, a two-front campaign like this?
He may not. He may give up on one aspect of it or another, but the friction with the Republican Party is not new. It's just now out in the open, and the existential crisis that is Donald Trump within the Republican Party is now also out in the open, quite clearly and visibly. And Donald Trump has always comforted himself, and his supporters have, by saying they're against three things: Democrats, the Republican establishment, and the larger cultural media complex in this country. They're detaching themselves from all three. Whether they are important institutions in this country or not, I'll leave that to someone else to decide. But for Trump supporters, they are not. Not only are they not important institutions, they are worthy of scorn. And so in this conversation that Trump has with his supporters, and it is a somewhat closed and maybe ever-shrinking universe, we'll find out on Election Day, they're content to reinforce each other that the Democrats are corrupt, the Republican Party is corrupt, and the media and larger culture around them are corrupt, and they're the ones who singularly see the truth, and they're the ones singularly committed to a better America. They believe it. They tell each other these things. And so at that level, this is sustainable all the way to Election Day, and even if Trump loses and loses badly, probably for a certain time afterward.
Well, the polls would suggest that that bad loss is coming reality. We saw this new poll out, the NBC News Wall Street Journal poll has Hillary Clinton leading Donald Trump by 11 points in a four-way race. The impact of that lead, and there are now two debates gone, two opportunities perhaps to reach out to the undecided. We saw anything but a contrite Donald Trump this past Sunday night. Do they also believe that the polls of which we speak here are also illegitimate?
Last night in Wilkes-Barre, Trump was saying, you know, these polls are rigged too.
Yeah.
So the system around him, if it's not telling him what he wants to hear and what his supporters want to hear and fervently believe, then it can't be true.
And we're hearing that dog whistle again. The idea of a rigged election, it's not just a throwaway line. The implications. So
in Wilkes-Barre last night, Trump didn't go on and on and on about it in the way that he sort of cracked open this dossier of Bill Clinton malfeasance, sexual and otherwise, of many decades ago. But he did say, look, if this doesn't work out, this could be a rigged election. We have to protect this election from being stolen from us. If he continues with that rhetoric, he is setting up a predicate for the first time in American presidential history where the vanquished, the loser, does not accept or may not accept the outcome. That's serious business in American democracy. One of the things that has always made this country strong and resilient, even when elections have been much tighter, is, all right, the system has spoken. I'm disappointed. It was close. I gave it my all, but I now hand, not my support, at least my deference to the winner. Trump is beginning to set up a conversation where that is rejected even before the ballots have been cast and counted.
This discussion of then a brazen assault really on the political process, juxtaposed with the brazen political nature of remaining behind Trump simply because the numbers, the polls suggest that a Republican should. I mean, we're seeing an essential fraying here. We're seeing 24 now, more than really. Republicans who had previously endorsed Trump now say they no longer support him. Do you expect to see those numbers continue to rise based on what we know now of the House Speaker's conversation with House Republicans and the RNC call with Reince Priebus?
So House Speaker Paul Ryan said, if you're worried about Trump and you have to do something, don't worry about me. Don't worry about any penalties that may come your way. Do what you need to do to win your seat and your race. That tells us two things. One, a decoupling from Trump is now public, and there's this anxiety about an undertow from a statistically large Trump loss. So, as a hedge against that, campaign on your agenda, campaign on your ideas, such as they are, and your own visibility and viability in your congressional district. You're no longer obligated to say anything nice about the nominee of your party. Kind of unprecedented in modern presidential history. So all of that tells us that there is not just disagreement or dissatisfaction with Trump. There's now a sense he could be a proximate threat to down-ballot Republicans, and they are acting accordingly. Now, some Republicans have been acting accordingly for months, building their own campaigns, building their own infrastructure, their own messaging, and saying, yeah, I like Trump, and then disengaging from them. But here's an interesting fact I came across yesterday talking to a very senior person with the National Republican Congressional Committee. When they do their polling, and they ask about the Democrats who are in the race in a swing district, how close are they aligned with Hillary Clinton? It's usually 60 or 70%. How closely is that Republican in that district aligned with Donald Trump? Rarely does that number go above 20%. So Trump is his own brand, and the word from other Republicans is be your brand, and if it needs to be the anti-Trump brand, fine. Just win, baby.
We're seeing the referendum on the two-party system, and here we are still in October.
And look, we can't rule out a genuine third party after this election, Republican, Democrat, and Trump.
Major Garrett on his way to somewhere. It being October, it's a swing state. We'll
Panama City, Florida, here I come.
Here you come. As always, we appreciate it.
Thanks.